Live, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Great to be back. Tailgating, always epic. Look at the size of that state. Yes, sir. It's the Reds and the Brewers. It's game one of this three-game weekend series and a matchup of former MVPs. Ryan Braun, who's had a great year against Cincinnati this year in his 10 games played. And on the other side, Joey VOTTO of the Reds. Always good against the Brewers. He's having a terrific season. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minnaert is our reporter tonight. First game of this three-game series, the Brewers and the Reds, and Rock, two teams that are both headed in the same direction. They're looking ahead to next season. And as for Taylor Youngman tonight, he's going to get a start matching up against Raisel Iglesias. And Cincinnati is a ball club that is going to have to deal with Chris Davis. Davis has been on a home run binge here lately.
You know, if you talk to Chris, he'd like to get the average up a little bit, but I guess if you're going to get hits, home runs aren't a bad way to get him. 5 of his last 6 hits have been home runs. He's just up there very relaxed. I mean, hitting the ball all over the diamond, and when you look at the home runs that he's been able to hit this month, he's got 10 of them. None of them are wall scrapers. He is just driving the baseball out of the ballpark, left field, center field, out into right field, and this is what the Brewers expect out of Chris Davis when he gets every day playing time, and he's been doing that ever since the big trades at the trading deadline.
Well, how good has his August been? Check it out. 10 home runs, 23 runs batted in. That ranks among the best months in Brewer franchise history. Look at those names on the list. Fielder, the Rooster, Cecil Cooper, and Big Spike Gorman Thomas. Chris Davis still has a few days left in the month. He's making a run at Player of the Month in the National League. A matchup of rookies tonight, Youngman and Iglesias. Craig and Augie will have more on that when we continue right after this.
Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Two teams looking to get on the winning track here tonight. Taylor Youngman on the hill for Milwaukee, among the best ERAs in all of baseball right now. And among rookies, he tops the list in 2015. His opposition, Raisel Iglesias, not far behind at 3.71. Those are our two starting pitchers in tonight's ball game as we welcome him back to the broadcast. And Augie, talking pitching with Youngman, he's trying to bounce back. Maybe his toughest start of the year is last time out against Washington. But boy, I tell you what, you look at the numbers here at home, no better place to get back on track with that 1.75 ERA than Miller Park.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Craig. When you talk about a young pitcher after pitching a bad outing, it's a great focus they can have when they come back. With Taylor Youngman, it's all about having that good fastball, commanding it to the strike zone. But the real key comes with that curveball and changeup. When he's got good command of those pitches, he can be aggressive. And I'll tell you what, in Miller Park, he's been done very well.
A comfort zone indeed here for Taylor Youngman. We'll see if it continues here tonight. Scooter Gennett, one of the big stars. Billy Hamilton, bright future. Jonathan LUCROY and Joey Votto and Gene Segura. You'll see them all next.
Plan. But for the crew, there was still plenty to play for.
And he got him. A swing and a miss. The Brewers win. Frankie Rodriguez with his 30th save.
There's a home run showcase going on in the outfield as Chris Davis leads the majors in long balls this month.
As Davis sends one deep into left field, that is way back. Goodbye. That's number 17 for Davis, and the Brewers lead 1-0.
Newcomer Domingo Santana looks to prove he belongs in the big leagues.
Santana out to right field, getting turned around as Chisenhall. That ball's gone. Oh my goodness. Domingo Santana.
And tonight, a young ace in the making, Taylor Youngman, takes them out.
And a swing and a miss, and Taylor Youngman goes the distance for Milwaukee.
All this and more as the Brewers take on the Reds. Next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
And it's time for baseball at Miller Park. Chris Davis back in the lineup. He's got that home run stroke going. It's a retro Friday here in Milwaukee. And Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Well, you see the roof is closed. The panels are closed up in the outfield. It's 70 degrees outside. Nice temperature, but there is rain in the area. Thunderstorms popping up all over the place So it's all sealed up tight here tonight as we start a series with the Redlegs of Cincinnati. Brandon Phillips leads off. Brian Pena will bat second and catch. Then Joey Votto. Middle of the order is Todd Frazier, Eugenio Suarez, and Jay Bruce. And then it's DeJesus Jr., Brian LaMarre, and Raisel Iglesias rounding out the starting 9 against Taylor Youngman.
Yeah, looking for a bounce-back start. Last time out against the Nationals wasn't very sharp. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Taylor's lost 4 of his last 6 decisions, so looking to get back on track here at home, where he's been able to post a 175 earned run average.
Great to have you with us tonight. Good to be back in Milwaukee. And Youngman facing Brandon Phillips, round 2 against the Reds. Youngman's had a couple of bounce back starts, so he's been bad, good, bad, and we'll see if he's good here tonight. Pitching very well at Miller Park this year. Youngman, in his rookie campaign, has a 1.75 ERA in his 6 starts at Miller Park this season.
Yeah, making his second career start against Cincinnati. Beat the Reds in Cincinnati. A dandy 8 innings, only 1 run, allowed only 4 hits in a Brewers victory.
And Phillips, a pop-up, foul territory. Lind will give it a look, and it's just out of his reach. 1 ball, 2 strikes on all-star second baseman Brandon Phillips. Cincinnati still has the firepower in their lineup. They traded their top 2 pitchers, Mike Leake and Johnny Cueto. Cueto, their ace, traded him to Kansas City. And Brian Price is starting 5 rookies right now, and he's been on a long run of consecutive starts by rookie pitchers, and another one on the mound tonight in Iglesias. And the Reds, as Rock mentioned, they've lost 12 out of 13 games. They lost 9 straight at one point, and yesterday they got shut out by Zach Greinke and the Dodgers. That was a 1-0 loss in the final game of that series. They got swept by Los Angeles.
And with that lineup, you don't anticipate, inconsistent offense. They've got the names in that lineup. They just haven't been able to, be consistent enough. Joey Votto has been their best, of course. Everybody else has been inconsistent, even Todd Frazier in the second half.
A lot of talk about Brian Price and his tenure with the Reds. Will it carry over to next season? He did get a bit of a vote of confidence, at least for this year. No move will be made, according to their owner, this season. Certainly didn't go into next season, however. There's another pop-up. And we'll see if this one stays playable. Lind is there. He makes the catch. Adam Lind leaning over the rail. And what a way to start the night tonight at Miller Park.
Well, Lind able to go back. Almost got one. Couple of pitches before that. You see the Brewers bench reacting. A nice play by Adam, reaching over that railing into the dugout. Getting the first out. Looking at his guy saying, what's the big deal? You knew I was going to catch it.
I had it all the way. It was a quick snatch out of the air as it was headed into the Brewers dugout. So the first out of the ball game has a little entertainment value. And that'll bring up Brian Pena. Pena batting second for Cincinnati. Switch hitting catcher. Not your prototypical number 2 hitter. Pena getting the call behind the plate tonight, catching Raisel Iglesias to a Cuban-born Cincinnati Reds, making up the battery here tonight.
Let the switch hitter Pena much better as a left-handed hitter. Gets a lot more opportunities hitting left-handed, hitting almost 300 as a lefty.
No balls, 2 strikes on Pena. And he bounces one out to short. Gene Segura will make the play for out number 2.
Well, the defense a little bit shaky on the road trip. And the defense got to tighten up a little bit on this homestand. The Brewers defense brought to you by Menards. You got Chris Davis in left. Domingo Santana gets a start in center field. Ryan Braun in right. Herrera once again at third. Segura GENNETT up the middle. Adam Lind already a nice play at first, and LUCROY behind home plate.
Miller Park debut of Domingo Santana was just called up to the Brewers at the beginning of the last road trip in the home whites for the first time as Joey Votto. That is a swinging strike, says Alfonso Marquez, third base umpire. Votto quietly, like Braun, having a good year. 24 homers, 62 driven in. He's top 5 in the National League in a number of offensive categories, including walks, runs, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and multi-hit games.
You know, on-base percentage at near .450. I mean, amazing plate discipline at the plate. Almost to a fault. Maybe needs to be a little bit more aggressive.
And is the league leader in walks as Youngman fires a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in there for a strike. So Youngman's got the good fastball going early. That's about as much as you'll see him go with the fastball. Occasionally he'll hit 95, but this is upper end of his velocity. And a curveball and an awkward swing, fly ball that's going to fall in left center field. They've got Santana playing so deep. He's not a center fielder, so they put him way back there. And a lot of those kind of hits fall in front.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly one that normally a center fielder is going to be able to get to. Look at this from Joey Votto, just laying the bat on the baseball. Pretty good pitch by Youngman, but you know, Votto has such good plate discipline and bat control. He just flips it out there in the center field.
You get hits like that, then that's when you earn the name a batsman.
Yeah,
he's a batsman, more like a batsmith.
All he's got to do is spread the hands apart, and he's back in the turn of the century.
Exactly, a little flick of the wrist, like he's playing Pepper. Well, there's a 2-out base hit now. Todd Frazier, home run derby champion this year, and a Reds All-Star at third base. Starter at third base. 29 homers, 75 driven in for Frazier. Cooled off significantly since that blistering start to the season, the first half. He is an early count swinger most of the time, and he lets one fly on a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Yeah, those are the numbers for Frazier. Just 216 post All-Star break and just 4 home runs after the All-Star break.
Yeah, when he's going good, he's going to be driving the ball in the right center, maybe trying to pull it a little bit too much, maybe trying to carry too much of the burden of the offense. Very inconsistent offense for Cincinnati. Never thought that the Reds would have a tough time scoring runs with the lineup they have and the ballpark they play in.
Well, individually, they have a couple of guys like Votto and Frazier putting up good numbers. Bruce overall decent power numbers and RBI numbers, low batting average. Frazier comes in tied for the major league lead in doubles and extra base hits. It's a second consecutive series. The Brewers are facing the doubles leader in the respective leagues. Jason Kipnis, or rather Michael Brantley, I should say, of the Indians, leading the American League in doubles, and Frazier the same in the National League.
Yeah, well, Kipnis just was leading the American League in hitting, so
yeah,
that's far off.
Now the Brewers have dropped 4 in a row. They lost both of their games in Cleveland. Frazier lines one into left field, and it'll be first and second with 2 away, back-to-back singles. And Youngman in some first inning trouble here after retiring the first 2 hitters.
Yeah, on the road trip, that was that third out sometimes was difficult to come by. 2 outs, nobody on. Frazier getting a pitch up and in and able to turn it around and hit it hard by Herrera and into left field. Brewers are looking for a long start. They haven't had one in quite some time.
Haven't had a quality start in 2 weeks almost. Trying to go at least 6 innings to qualify for a quality start. 6 innings and 3 runs or fewer, and that has not happened. Craig Counsell, I was talking to him earlier today as Suarez fouls the first pitch away, and fortunate that the Brewers are in the middle of this window with so many off days. Brewers have a 4-man starting rotation right now, but it is more than anything else allowed the bullpen to rest up, because otherwise you're probably going to need to make a call down to the minor leagues when you have starters who aren't going deep in games. There's a good fastball in for the second strike.
Yeah, the Brewers haven't had a starter get into the 5th inning since the first game on the road trip against the Nationals. Very short starts, and you see the bullpen has had to pick up a lot of innings.
3 more innings than the starters. That should never be the case. Well, hopefully Youngman can give him a quiet night tonight. 2 outs. He's got Eugenio Suarez in an 0-2 count, and LUCROY on his way back out. These starting pitchers know better than anyone, but it's a different world when you get on the mound. But philosophically, they know it's so important to create pace, get the game moving a little bit. Brewers have really struggled defensively, and I think a good reason why is VOTTO takes off and he'll make it without a throw. That'll be a wild pitch. I think the big reason why, Rock, the fielders are standing around so much, so many deep counts, a lot of walks, a lot of struggles early in the game for the starting pitchers. It's hard to be crisp defensively.
Yeah, 8 walks for the Brewers pitching staff. That was Jimmy Nelson in the first 4 innings a couple of days ago. Guys get back on their heels. And defense likes it when pitchers out there, you know everything's going to be, every pitch, your chance the ball's going to be hit.
1st and 3rd with 2 away. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Suarez. And a fastball misses. Suarez getting the call at shortstop here tonight. Brewers saw him in the last series, had a hit in 5 at-bats against Milwaukee. And did he go? He did not. Check swing, ball 3, count goes full.
Yeah, one of the issues that Taylor had his last start was he couldn't get that curveball over for strikes. Trying to get Suarez to chase, he doesn't do it. Able to check it.
Reds have Zach Cozart as their shortstop of the future. He's been there for the last few years, out with major knee surgery, out for the season. So Suarez enjoying the playing time. 3-2, a swing and a miss. LUCROY will have to scoop it up and secure it at first. Does so. That will retire the side. So Youngman gives up a couple of hits, strands them both. Picks up his first strikeout. Brewers are coming up. And a couple of base runners in the top of the first. Now the Brewers are coming up. Scooter Gennett will lead off. He'll be followed by LUCROY and then Braun. Council has Adam Lynn, Chris Davis, and Domingo Santana in the middle with ELIAN HERRERA, Gene Segura, and Taylor Youngman rounding out the Potawatomi Milwaukee batting order. Against a rookie right-hander, Raisel Iglesias, making his 15th appearance. Rockets his 13th start, and he's been a good one for Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's got a nice live arm. This is the 28th straight game started by a rookie for the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, incredible how this rotation has changed. Not the big names that we're used to seeing. Lost his last time out against the Arizona Diamondbacks, a 4-0 loss. He pitched pretty well, though. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. He actually struck out 13 in that start.
Yeah, the most strikeouts by a Reds rookie since 1967. Those 13 Ks. Gives you a lot of knees and elbows, and it'll be something to get used to for the Brewers. Scooter Gennett back in that leadoff spot. The Cincinnati-born Scooter Gennett hit his first career home run against the Reds in Cincinnati. 4 for 13 this year against the Reds. And there's that changeup. That's his signature pitch, Iglesias.
Got a good one. Go along with a slider. They'll throw 2 different speeds, and that very light fastball. He can rush it up there at about 95 miles an hour. Left-handers have to be aware of that fastball that starts in off the plate and then catches the edge.
And Gennett in the air to left field, slicing to Jesus. A long way to go, and that'll end up in the seats. You look at Iglesias, he reminds you a lot of El Duque Hernandez. Very similar pitching style, and I'm sure there's a lot of El Duque influence in this style, both Cuban-born.
He's going to change some arm angles just like El Duque used to do. So you have an all-Cuban battery out there tonight. Brian Pena from Havana.
Way inside. That'll even the count at 2-2. Now the Reds have 3 Cuban-born players, all 3 defecting from their homeland. And of course their closer, Aroldis Chapman, being the 3rd. Two and 2, and that's way inside again. Almost hit him. Count goes full.
Iglesias averaging over a strikeout per innings pitched, 77 punch outs in 73 and a third innings. And he's walked 21. Not too bad.
He's 25 years of age. First year in the big leagues. Very little time in the minor leagues. Matter of fact, came straight to the big leagues in April before ever pitching in the minor leagues. And then he was sent to AAA ultimately. Did make 6 starts in AAA Louisville, but that was after he arrived in the major leagues. One of the few players to go straight from the amateur ranks to the big leagues. As Gennett draws a walk. Good start. 7th pitch, making an 8th pitch at bat for Scooter Gennett.
Well, I check out the Reds defense, brought to you by Menards, one of the better fielding teams in the National League. They've committed 63 errors is all. That's good for 4th stats. You got the Jesus, LAMARRE, and Bruce in the outfield. Frazier, Suarez, Phillips. Phillips, one of the best, if not the best in the business. Gold Glover at second, Joey VOTTO at first, and Brian Pena behind home plate.
So here is LUCROY with a runner at first. Good long battle there for Gennett. LUCROY with 7 home runs. Hit the long ball on the last road trip through DC and Cleveland. 7 homers, 32 runs batted in for LUCROY. It's been a down season for him offensively. And a slinging fastball in there for a strike. In our lows, never stop improving. Let's take a look at the numbers for LUCROY in his last 5. 3 home runs in his last 5 games. Matter of fact, had 3 home runs and a stretch of 8 at-bats from Sunday, and then after the off day Monday into Tuesday.
Hard hit ball starting to fall a little bit for LUCROY. Hitting almost 250, but and you hate saying this over and over again, but he's hit the ball hard quite a bit. Balls have been caught. He could be hitting a lot higher.
Now LUCROY still doing a great job behind the plate, not letting his poor season offensively affect him as a defender. Matter of fact, mentally, you get the sense that LUCROY does keep his defensive game as a top priority. Not just the way he catches, throwing out base runners, blocking balls, but also the way he game plans with the pitcher. Catchers have a lot on their plate, way more than other position players. That one's ripped into the gap. To the wall it goes. GENNETT was on the move with the pitch. He will score easily, and Jonathan LUCROY with an RBI double. The Brewers lead it 1-0 in the first.
Yeah, there you go. He's hitting the ball hard and starting to fall a little bit. A lot of atom balls for LUCROY this year, but that one finds a gap out in left center to drive in Scooter Gennett, who walks. So it's more like it for the Brewers, getting an early lead. Pitch out over the plate on a 2-1 count. Brewers might be a little bit aggressive on the bases, trying to jumpstart some offense. And because Gennett was running, he's able to score.
A good start for the Crew tonight. A walk and a double. 1-0 they lead it. LUCROY with RBI number 33. And Gennett's mad dash all the way around. So here is Braun. 23 home runs, 75 driven in. Braun's having a terrific season. And for the most part has been healthy. Had that one little stretch right before the Brewers went to Minnesota back in June, where he had to return to Los Angeles to have another injection in his thumb, that injured thumb. He's got nerve damage in that thumb, and it was an off-season procedure. A bit of a gamble for Braun. I guess it couldn't have done any harm, but it's just an injection to numb that nerve in his right thumb, and it worked, but then it wore off. Had to go have another one in June, and he thought he'd be able to get through the rest of the season with it, and so far so good.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat well. He's quick on that fastball in the inner half again, and most of his damage, though, is coming into right field and right center.
Braun is tied for 10th in the National League in homers with 23. Two balls, no strikes. Good start for the Brewers with LUCROY at second after driving in a run with a double. And Iglesias calling his catcher Pena to the mound. And with a runner at second base, pitchers, catchers, they get very peculiar about the sign structure, and something wasn't jiving with Raisel Iglesias there.
You got to make sure you're down in the count 2-0, already down in the game 1-0. If you're not sure, go have a chat.
You see Pena's got the little white stickers on his fingernails. Helps the pitcher see the signals a little bit better. Long gone are the nail polish or liquid paper days. Those are actually fingernail sized clippers, custom made.
Used to put white tape around the fingers back in the old days.
There's a fastball strike on a 3-0 pitch. Braun very rarely swings 3-0, if you're wondering. You can always tell how good Ryan Braun's going when just by looking at his bat and how scarred up and marked up it is. He's had that one for a while. That's ball 4. So Braun is aboard with a walk. 2 walks in the inning for Iglesias, and 2 men on, nobody out for Adam Lind.
Guys like Ryan Braun always do get the best wood. Nice and hard.
And you find the sweet spot more often than not when you're not breaking bats and going back into the new ones.
He even uses that bat off the tee. You can see the blue marks on it.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I always wondered about that. So here's Lind with 2 on. Brewers would love nothing more than to return the favor to the opposition they've been experiencing here lately. Actually, the offense has not been bad on the road trip. But, finding themselves in a lot of deep early holes.
Yeah.
Trying to put the Reds in an early hole here today. Little tapper foul. No balls, 2 strikes on Adam Lind. Made a nice catch in the top of this first inning.
Yeah, Brewers scored 24 runs on the road trip in 5 games. Of course, 10 of those came in the first game of the trip.
Lind was a tick late and a pop-up into left field for DeJesus. And there's the first out for Iglesias. So 1 away with 2 on. And that'll bring up Chris Davis. Another mound visit by Pena. What a month he's having. Got a chance to win the Player of the Month in the National League for August. Has 17 home runs now. His last 3 hits have been home runs. Check the Powerball home run numbers for Chris Davis.
He's just feeling it up there at the plate right now. Nice and relaxed. Know he's going to play every day, and the power numbers speak for themselves. Of course, Chris would like to get that batting average up a little bit, sprinkling some singles amongst those homers.
And that one's going to get down into left center. A base hit. LUCROY is going to be waved home. Throw goes to second base. Chris Davis with an RBI single. 2-0 Crew.
Yeah, should have asked for one on the road trip. You don't have to just hit homers, Chris. Yeah, the Brewers with a base hit with a man in scoring position. And John LUCROY able to score run number 2. Ryan Braun able to get into third base with good hustle around the bags. Time with this Brewers offense to get greedy.
Now here is the Miller Park debut of Domingo Santana with runners at the corners. He was so looking forward to playing his first game at Miller Park. 1 week ago he made his Brewers debut, and he homered that night against the Washington Nationals. Hit a line drive missile over the fence in left field. So he has 3 hits. 2 of them are home runs. Had an opposite field home run in Cleveland on Tuesday.
Yeah, that home run he hit against the Nationals probably didn't get 20 feet off the ground. And here's the one we're talking about. Fastball in, and this was a missile out of here, right down the line. Question was it going to be high enough? And then he got jammed. He got the ball back in his hitting zone just a little bit and drove it out of the ballpark at Progressive Field in Cleveland.
Making him count. Also had a double. So all of his hits have been for extra bases. This will be a good matchup for him tonight. Iglesias does have a good slider. Santana, through his development in the minor leagues, mostly with the Astros and then briefly with the Brewers after the Gomez and Fires trade to Houston, has struck out a lot, but he's put up very gaudy offensive numbers. Good batting average, big power, a lot of RBIs, high OPS. When he was traded to Milwaukee, he was the number 7 rated prospect in the Astros system, and one of the 4 players in return for Gomez and Fires. And there's a wave and a miss, and that's the pitch that Santana probably needs to be exposed to here in the big leagues if he's going to have any success moving forward.
Yeah, because you know you can handle the fastball. That word has gotten out already, I'm sure. And there's that slider from Iglesias. He's got two different sliders. He calls them both sliders. One looks more like a curveball. And got him to chase one off the outside corner.
So that'll be the second out of the inning. Still 2 on, first and third for ELIAN HERRERA. Haven't seen a whole lot of Hernan Perez lately, and that is because HERRERA is really playing well, swinging the bat well from both sides. He's either been at second base or third base. If there's a right-handed starter on the mound, HERRERA plays third for Perez and hits lefty. If there's a left-handed starter, he'll play second base for GENNETT, and of course hit right-handed.
It's not just offense. He's played solid over there defensively, regardless of where Craig Counsell's put him.
Two runs are in, 2 outs in the inning. A lot of pitches in this opening frame for Iglesias. Stepping off a lot of visits to the mound already by his catcher. Into center field, hit on a line, but right at LAMARRE. Wow. Ball was smoked. Nothing to show for it, ELIAN. Too bad. 2 runs are in, however. LUCROY, after the GENNETT walk, doubles him home. And then Davis brings in LUCROY, a 2 spot in the first inning to get it started tonight.
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. It's an early 2-0 lead here for Taylor Youngman, looking to put back a start against the Nationals and get back to form that he showed in his last start against Cincinnati on July 5th. What Craig Counsell said was one of his best starts of the season. He said a big part of that was because of the command of his curveball. He said his curveball command, changeup, along with his fastball. He said he had all those pitches going for him in that start. He went 8 innings of 1-run ball. He said that curveball really gives him another weapon to help him counter the hitter's strengths. And he said, of course, you want to have all your pitches going, and looks for Youngman to have that kind of bounce back outing after a short start against the Nationals.
Yeah, and the more he's out there, the more he throws that changeup. It's a good pitch against left-handed hitters. Guys like Jay Bruce. He's got that natural cut to his fastball, but you know, last few starts, I guess last 5 starts, he started to throw some 2-seamers.
Youngman matching up against fellow Texan Jay Bruce. And fastball, there's the 2-seamer you're talking about. Little sinker down and away. Bruce ahead 2-1. The batting average is low, but 18 homers, 69 driven in for Bruce. Cooled off a bit since the trade deadline passed. I think a lot of folks, me included, expected Bruce to be dealt prior to the trade deadline. There were a lot of teams interested, but he remains a Red. Walt Jocketty, the general manager of the Reds, did not get what he wanted in return.
Another guy that didn't walk too much.
2-2 to Bruce. Count goes full.
There's that changeup that Sophia was talking about. Not a lot of movement on it, but just something other than the fastball coming out of his hand like that. It's an effective pitch.
Bruce into left field. Davis on the run at the track. He's got it for out number 1. Well, one of Youngman's better starts of the year was against Cincinnati. Had an outing on July 5th and rocked across 8 innings. He allowed just 4 hits. Only allowed 1 run, just 104 pitches. His best outing of the year was a complete game effort against the Dodgers, but you'd probably put this one number 2.
Yeah, 4 hits in that game, and only 2 of the hits came against guys that are right now in the Cincinnati lineup. So when you look at those guys, been a very impressive performance for him back on July 5th. You know, that was the beginning of a nice stretch for Youngman. Won 3 consecutive starts.
Yeah, he won 3 starts. He pitched at least 7 innings in every game, averaged 8 innings, and only gave up 3 earned runs in those 3 starts. Swinging a foul back off the bat of Ivan De Jesus. That start against the Reds that Youngman had was his 6th major league start. This is number 15 of his career tonight. Came in with an ERA of 2.66. Has kept the hits down per innings pitched. It's a key stat for him. Came in with 84 2/3 innings and only 71 hits allowed, and only 29 walks in that stretch as well. It's about a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Youngman.
There's that curveball. You know, best one he's thrown so far tonight. That's a pretty good whip. Walks and hits the innings pitched.
They used to not call it whip, but it's been around for a long time. You just say walks and hits per innings pitched, but it's much better now. You can watch the word count. Just call it whip. And you can whip it good or whip it bad.
Whip it real good. His whip is good.
You could say he's cracking that whip. 3-2 pitch, and it is ball 4. First walk issued by Youngman.
Hey, it's vintage Brewers bobblehead day tomorrow afternoon at Miller Park. The Reds wrap up their weekend series with the Reds, and all fans in attendance get an old-fashioned nodder courtesy of Sendik's Food Markets. That's not tomorrow, by the way. That's Sunday, I believe.
Sunday.
Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets.
Today's Friday.
Yeah. It's not tomorrow, it's Sunday.
Saturday is tomorrow.
A little too excited about the nodder bobblehead. I was hoping it was tomorrow.
You'll get yours tomorrow. Boy, what a play by LUCROY. Man. There aren't many catchers that make that play. Check this out.
He's got nice soft hands, and you know how far in front of home plate that baseball bounces. You just throw it up there, and LUCROY able to keep it in the glove. Yeah, keep that double play alive.
There's no blocking fastballs in the dirt like that. No time. You just got to do your best. Heck of a play.
They really don't have time to get down on your knees and block it like you would on a curveball. Not with a fastball. It comes there too quickly.
Those great hands that make him such a good hitter helps him make plays like that all the time. Ryan LaMarre at the plate, getting the start in center field tonight. No Billy Hamilton in the Reds lineup at this point. The Reds traded Marlon Byrd, really the only position player traded, and then the 2 pitchers. Hamilton's on the disabled list with a right shoulder injury. He's not eligible to return until next week.
Yeah, the Reds with 114 stolen bases, but it's now you look into the numbers a little bit. 54 of those came from Billy Hamilton. So not a team that's going to run a whole lot at this point.
Got the pitcher on deck, Iglesias. 8th place hitter with 1 out. Youngman would love a double play ball here. And a fastball. Did he go? He did not. A lot of almost swings. Youngman can't quite find that put-away pitch at this point. Did get a strikeout in the first inning on Suarez. Got him to chase a big curveball for his lone strikeout. LaMarre choking up on that bat. Something you don't see much of. The old saying, shorten up with 2 strikes.
Yep. Most guys right down on that knob trying to hit homers.
And that one misses low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Another full count for Youngman.
And when he's going well, this is a curveball count, and let's see if the Jesus takes off on the 3-2 pitch.
And a swing and a miss. He tied him up with a fastball. Well, LaMarre took a big hack at that 2-strike pitch. Second strikeout for Youngman.
Yeah, just because you choke up doesn't mean you're not going to swing just as hard. That's a good 2-seamer. That is the best one he's thrown tonight. Right under the bat of LaMarre, who had that big healthy swing with two strikes.
A key hitter for Youngman. Now the pitcher is coming up, Iglesias, who has 1 hit in his 23 plate appearances this season. They use the designated hitter in Cuba, in the Cuban leagues. Got a multi-year major league contract. Iglesias. Not quite the numbers that Aroldis Chapman got, but he got more years than Chapman. 1 more year, 7 years, $27 million deal. It's a contract that'll run through the 2020 season. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Youngman. He has 3 early punch-outs. A rainy Friday night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The roof is all closed up, and it's now time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WisDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. You see a little bit of the discoloration there in the outfield grass. We had the One Direction concert earlier this week on Tuesday, and I'll tell you, Michael Betcher, who heads up the grounds crew here at Miller Park, and his crew did an incredible job putting this field back together. It's a beautiful surface. You see a little bit of the change of the color, but that's all new turf out there, Rock, and they worked tirelessly to get the field back ready after the concert.
You don't expect a lot of slipping out there. Those are 40-foot strips of sod, about 4 feet wide. You don't have any idea how heavy that must be?
How heavy is that, Rock?
About 1,700 pounds. I asked him.
Nice.
So if you're thinking about taking Eddie, you're going to need some help.
It's a perfect time to bring in Sophia as Rock goes turf analytics on us, Sophia.
Yeah, the planning for that project really started for them in February, and Betcher said that the work started as soon as the series wrapped up Wednesday night against the Marlins. They had to rip out the sod in center field, lay down some protective covering, assemble the stage, and so the show Tuesday night, and then had to take down the stage, and they've got 8 semis full of sod yesterday. Started laying that down, 25,000 square feet. So they've really been working around the clock for a week now, and as you can see, it's just in great condition, and Betcher and his crew just did a remarkable job during that week.
Yeah, they deserve a lot of credit. Yep. Those guys have hardly slept, but you know, you do what you have to do to entertain the folks. You had a great concert, huge crowd here for that One Direction concert, then get the facility ready for Major League Baseball as Iglesias strikes out. Taylor Youngman, second out of the inning.
Make compost out of some of that old sod. That'd be good for your yard.
I'm going to need a couple of buckets of those.
You can take bags of the compost, but I doubt you can hoist that 1,700 pounds in that car you've got.
I figured your Dodge Ram might come in handy. Maybe we can get a few buckets loaded up. You can swing on by the homestead.
As long as I don't have to lift any of it.
There's a lot of great events. Brewers have had a concert series after games this year that's been a roaring success. And I think they're thinking about doing it next year. You might want to let them know if you enjoyed those concerts. The Goo Goo Dolls and Joe Nichols, OAR, 3 concerts following games. That was a big hit this year.
Yeah, a lot of fun. 2 for price of 1, right?
And it's always more fun in a group. And you know you're going to play. You know there's going to be a concert. Miller Park is an ideal facility for all of that. A swing and a miss. Iglesias with his best inning. And he's found his stuff.
And just 15 home games remaining here at Miller Park. Our time to check in with Rick Schlesinger. Rick, it was just talking. It's been a very busy week here at Miller Park, even with the team on the road. And you were in attendance for the big One Direction concert, but really it was a remarkable effort to put that concert together.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work, and the grounds crew did an amazing feat to get the grass in shape. And if you look right now, it looks like the grass has been here all summer. They laid it down Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and did a fabulous job. So incredible amount of work, a lot of fun. It was a great event. Want to have more concerts. I don't know if our grounds crew wants to hear it, but the reality is it showcased Miller Park. And it was great.
And you got to meet Harry Styles, more importantly.
My daughter, Katie, was very excited to meet Harry Styles, and I thought they put on a great show. I was impressed. They are performers, and the 39,000 screaming teenage girls had a great time.
Well, also, you want to keep fans coming here to Miller Park. Just 15 home games remaining. The vintage bobblehead coming on Sunday. What was the inspiration for that one?
We wanted a bobblehead of a player that wouldn't be traded. But all in seriousness, the vintage bobblehead is a classic. And the people from the 60s and 70s remember that. They want to see a bobblehead of the vintage one. It's popular. It's fun. We'll probably do it again next year in a different uniform.
All right, sounds good. So Retro Friday, and the Brewers are throwing it back on Sunday with the vintage bobble, so it'll be a lot of fun on Sunday. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Sophia. Thanks to Rick. How about that play by Scooter Gennett? He is returning the favor to Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, Brandon Phillips retired both times up on pretty good plays. One time in foul ground. Adam Lind making a nice catch.
There's Brian Pena's Youngman in there with a strike. Take a look at this play. Scooter calling all the way over the shoulder. Ryan Braun says, all right, Kelly Leak.
I'll get out of the way.
Go ahead, you take it.
Kelly Leak.
He's letting everybody know, I got it.
Yeah, that would have been a collision that I would imagine Gennett would have lost.
Well, we have to put that in context for you. There was a play on the road trip when Gennett and Adam Lind were both camping under a pop-up, and neither were calling it. It was a fly ball left field right to Davis for out number 2. And so I'm sure that had something to do with that.
Yeah. Making sure this is what it sounds like when I call it.
I know Gennett always looks forward to these matchups against one of the great second basemen in the game, Brandon Phillips. And he just made a Brandon Phillips type play on Brandon Phillips. A 4-time Gold Glove Award winner, Brandon Phillips. 2 outs. Here's Joey Votto. Nibble at your own peril when facing Joey Votto. He has such a great command of the strike zone. He knows what he wants to do and where the pitches are he can handle early in a count, and he just will not bite.
And the better the pitcher, the more concentration you see out of Joey Votto. I was talking to Chris Welch, their TV analyst, and he was throwing out a statistic. I think Joey Votto was saying that hitting about 350 against Cy Young Award winners.
Wow.
So when he really wants to dial it in, which is all the time, but even more so against some of the league's best. He says he takes his at-bats personally. I mean, he wants to beat you out there on the mound.
Well, right away, Youngman gets in a 3-0 count. Now Votto, unlike Braun, he will swing 3-0. And he lays off that. It's a 4-pitch walk. Votto reaches. Second time he's been on. He leads the major leagues in walks this year. That's number 110 for him.
110 walks and 100 strikeouts. I mean, anytime you can have more walks than strikeouts, even when you strike out 100 times, that's pretty good.
Especially when you're hitting for power. And Votto has 24 home runs this year. So a 2-out base runner. Second walk issued by Youngman. He's given up 2 hits. Here's Todd Frazier, who has one of those 2 hits. And a sharply hit single his first time up in the first inning.
He's got 110 walks, but only 9 of those have been intentional walks. That speaks very highly of Todd Frazier behind him in the batting order.
Look out. Well, Frazier just managed to get out of the way. That one sails up and in. LUCROY again on his way out.
Yeah, 6 straight out of the strike zone for Youngman. 2 outs, nobody on. Remember the first inning.
Whoa.
Yeah. 2 outs, nobody on. First inning, back-to-back singles, got out of it. For some reason, lost the strike zone with 2 outs and nobody on in this inning.
Yeah, Frazier fouls it away. He was ready to swing, got a fastball, but Youngman has had a good 2-seam fastball, the one that is in the 91, 92 mile an hour range, and that one was just boring down in on Frazier.
That caught him down on the handle on a hitter's count.
It's always a good sign you have good stuff when you have a hitter like Frazier looking fastball in a 2-0 count, gets one, and can't do anything with it. Just something about Youngman in that crossfire delivery. VOTTO takes off. Frazier pops it a mile high. That's going to stay playable. Lind is there, and that will retire the side. 3 scoreless for Youngman. We head to the third. Jonathan LUCROY ready to lead off. Already has a double and an RBI tonight. For somebody else, right? Be a nice souvenir. 2-0 Brewers on the Potawatomi scoreboard. Hey, Fox Sports Wisconsin is proud to partner with Girls on the Run Greater Milwaukee to empower girls to be healthy and confident. Join us for the Girls on the Run Fall 5K on Sunday, November 15th at Bayshore Town Center in Glendale. To register, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab. LUCROY leads off. 2-3-4 coming up. LUCROY, Braun, and Lind. 2-0 Brewers. LUCROY knocked in the first run with a double, scoring GENNETT from first base. It was a double into left center in the first inning. Iglesias came back, was very impressive in the second. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts. Has retired 5 straight, and all 3 of his strikeouts in the last 5 hitters. I think Jerry Augustine put it best, describing Raisel Iglesias. Comes at you like a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Elbows, knees, hides the ball, high leg kick, slings it in there. Reds are very high on this young pitcher. He's been good lately as well. He's got an August ERA of 1.93. Opponent batting average during the month of August at 145. That's 5 starts. This is his 6th start in August. And he got LUCROY to chase one. That nasty slider from Iglesias. That's 4 strikeouts now.
Yeah, it's a tough pitch to lay off if you're a right-handed hitter. He comes down at you, that different arm angle. He'll change arm angles every so often. A lot of times with 2 strikes, and when he likes to throw this pitch, really have to try and keep that front shoulder closed and wait on Iglesias. He just has a good live arm, a lot of arm angles, a lot of different pitches, different velocities, different movements on him.
Well, it's a great look at his delivery as Braun on the ground to Suarez for out number 2.
Reds compare him to El Duque in the style of pitching, and you can see why.
Loosey-goosey. Feels like one of those guys that could pitch all day, and I'm sure he's had some long outings pitching in Cuba. Did have a few professional appearances in Cuba before the Reds signed him. So Cuban players don't operate like Dominican players or Venezuelan players. You are basically like a Japanese player or a Korean player. You are eligible to sign a free agent contract, and I think that's one thing baseball has been looking at year after year. It comes up in the GM's meetings, the access to players and how players are signed, and discussion of an international draft has come up where all players, amateur, international, would go into a draft. You'd have an amateur draft, of course, and then you'd have an international draft from but that does not apply to players from Latin America, specifically Venezuela and Dominican Republic. Those players are signed as teenagers for the most part, enter into an academy. Now Lynn bounces out, and another 3 up, 3 down inning for Iglesias. That's where we sit as we go to the 4th now. 3 in the books at Miller Park. We've seen some good defense thus far. Right out of the gates are worth another look. Columbia St. Mary's. Lind picks one out of the dugout. Then over the shoulder goes Scooter Gennett, robbing Brandon Phillips of a little flare single. That's good. The Brewers needed that. They have not played well defensively lately. Having lost 4 straight, the Brewers went 1-4 on the road trip, winning the first game of that road trip in D.C.
Oh, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it? Good pitching, good defense. You give your team a chance to win. Then you make errors. It costs your pitcher extra outs, extra pitches to get through an inning. And it makes it more difficult on the offense.
One ball, one strike. Eugenio Suarez leading off into right field. Braun's got a long way to go, but he'll run it down. One away for Youngman here in the 4th. Youngman's given up 2 walks and 2 hits. The hits came back to back in the first inning. VOTTO and FRAZIER, and then Youngman was able to strike out Suarez to end the inning. Taylor has 3 punch outs. Had a career best strikeout performance against the Philadelphia Phillies. Had 9 strikeouts back on August 16th. That was his last start at home. His last start came against the Nationals. That was last Saturday, and went 4 innings and gave up 5 earned runs. His best start against the Dodgers, July 11th. The first and only complete game of the season for a Brewer starting pitcher. And it's turned in by rookie Youngman. Jay Bruce, another one off the end of the bat to left, almost in the same spot. He's 0 for 2. Youngman has his first 2 men out in the Cincinnati 4th.
And the impressive part of that whole complete game in Los Angeles was he only needed 100 pitches.
Took him 83 pitches to go 4 innings in his last start. Gives you the idea. One start to another. Most pitches he's thrown as a big leaguer, 112. That was in a 5 2/3 innings loss against the Cubs. Started the year in AAA, did Youngman, and was not pitching well, as a matter of fact. At AAA, had an ERA at 6.37, but he got the call up. You might remember the scene back then. Brewers had to play 17 innings against the Diamondbacks. Matt Garza came out of the bullpen, pitched 5 innings and got the win, so he wasn't able to start the next day as he was scheduled. De Jesus to center field. Santana's got it. 3 up, 3 down inning. Youngman retires the Reds in order for the first time tonight. Park Fare. You got to have that secret stadium sauce. That'll be gone in 2 seconds. Carsoup.com trivia. Who was the last Reds and Brewers player to lead the National League in home runs for a season? So we're looking for 2 different answers. The last Reds player to lead the league in homers and the last Brewers player.
Okay.
So if you get 1 out of 2, you don't win anything.
Well, you don't win anything if you get both of them.
Well, a little pride. We got a consecutive streak going of successful Carsoup trivia questions answered. We got to keep alive. Davis had an RBI hit his first time up. He drove in LUCROY with a single. Just continues to pile up the numbers in the month of August. 24 runs batted in now after that RBI in the first inning. And a swing and a miss. How good has he been? Is this enough to win him the player of the month in the National League? He's got some company. Schwarber, the rookie. Carlos Gonzalez. How about Cespedes? High batting average as well. And OPS numbers very similar. And I guess the question would now be, are you going to vote for somebody in a pennant race or somebody not in a pennant race?
Yeah.
And I asked Ryan Braun about that. We were talking about MVP races. He has won an MVP. Thinking about he and VOTTO today playing on 2 teams that have struggled this year as Davis strikes out. And so I asked Braun, I said, is it harder to put up numbers when you're on a contending team or on a struggling team? And he said way harder, in his opinion, on a struggling team.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Energy of the games every day, energy of the fans.
Not many opportunities to drive in runs when the team's, not scoring runs, not winning games.
Slow roll to third, backhanded by Frazier. He's got a long throw and he guns down Santana. Good play over there. Todd Frazier, excellent defensive play at third.
It kind of goes hand in hand with what's more difficult, to close games out on a team that's not winning or a team that's in a playoff race. And a lot of them will tell you that it's more difficult, or there's a lot more pressure on you as a closer when your team isn't winning a lot, because you blow a save, you might have another chance for a week. I mean, if you're on a good team and you're playing good baseball, I mean, you might get another chance the next day. So
that's a good point.
So yeah, those wins, for closers that, for like KHRIS, I mean, he blows a save. I mean, that's an opportunity for a game for the Brewers to win that they might not have that opportunity in the next couple of days.
Yeah, good point. And so you say, well, he's got all these consecutive saves, but not in the pressure of a pennant race. So it's an interesting discussion. It doesn't mean a player who's in a pennant race should be docked by any stretch, because I think putting up numbers in a pennant race matters the most. I mean, that's when it counts, and when you can do it. And Braun's proven himself to be a pressure player.
Well, there's more pressure, but I think the opportunities are fewer.
But we're not saying that anybody who gets a vote, and we get a vote for player of the month, you're not going to look at that and say, well, he's playing on a poor team. His numbers matter more, because they don't, not compared to those that are in a pennant race. Herrera strikes out, and another 3-up, 3-down inning. That's 11 straight since a 2-run first inning for Iglesias.
the Brewers Community Foundation is hosting a school supplies drive for charity right here at Miller Park. Fans are encouraged to bring school supplies to the ballpark, or you can make a donation of $5. These items and the donations are all distributed to nonprofit organizations in areas where they are desperately needed. And as a thank you for your donation, fans will also receive a Milwaukee Brewers player collection pin. So be sure to do that over the weekend. And Willie Peralta threw a bullpen today. A good report for him. Said normal bullpen, 35 pitches, worked on all of them. I asked him how he was throwing. He said, oh, gasolina, meaning he was throwing gas. So he was all smiles. It was a good report. No concern for him on Sunday after that short start Tuesday in Cleveland.
Good thing we had you to translate, Sophia. Fluent in Spanish. Gasolina. It's a big story, though, for Willie Peralta. His last start in Cleveland
is a concern.
He could hardly break 93 miles an hour and had a lot of effort to do so. Said he's not injured. Craig Counsell said he's not injured. He's operating in his normal process, as Sophia mentioned, and he'll be back out there.
Yeah, Brewers still going to continue with that 4-man rotation. They have Monday off. And talking to Craig Counsell, they're not going to need a 5th starter until the weekend, next weekend.
On the road in Cincinnati.
Did not tip his hand who that 5th starter might be. Although that is going to be after the September call-ups.
Ball and 2 strikes on LaMarre. These 2 rookie pitchers pitching well right now. Brewers got 2 runs. First 2 batters of the ball game for the Brewers. GENNETT and LUCROY came around to score the 2 runs on the board. First 3 batters reached and had RBI hits from LUCROY and Davis. But since Davis's RBI single, which made it 2-0, that's 11 straight retired by Iglesias. Oh, and a foul tip in and out of the glove of LUCROY. Almost a strikeout for Youngman.
Same pitch that he got LaMarre his first time up. That 2-seamer down and in.
One ball, 2 strikes. Wow. TC Chin. A double hit. And the second contact was much better than the first.
Yep, here it goes. Bingo, right off the sweet spot.
That takes a lot of skill right there. It's pure luck, but it takes skill.
Yeah, look at the cluster down and in. They must know something.
And a curveball called strike 3. Youngman comes back with the hook, and LaMarre is down on strikes. That's number 4 for Youngman.
Second curveball that he threw in an 8-pitch at bat. A lot of pitches down and in, and buckles the knees on the curveball to get him looking.
Watch Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire. Oh, that's an oblique right there. One of the more enthusiastic strikeout calls in the big leagues.
Hitters will say, don't act like you enjoy that so much.
They do enjoy it, don't they? They sure do. 0-2 the count. Here he is. Yeah.
That's about a 15-minute pregame stretch to be able to pull that off.
Pirouette. That puts a lot of things at risk. Obliques, knees, ankle. There's a swing and a miss. Youngman punches out the pitcher again, Iglesias. So 6 strikeouts, 4 of them coming between the last 2 hitters. And 2 up and 2 down, and now Youngman retiring 6 straight. Top of the order, Brandon Phillips, 3rd time through the order. Hard to knock the smile off that guy's face.
Yeah.
He plays the game with joy.
Hey, we were talking on the last road trip. Where would Brandon Phillips rank in your all-time best second baseman? Talking about defense.
He's up there. Got to be.
He's got to be in the top 5,
Gotta
maybe
be
top 3.
Sure.
I mean, of guys that I've seen for sure.
Phillips made up his mind. He was hacking, and even on a swing and a miss, he's smiling. He was sitting on a fastball and got a curveball. Look at this. Oh my goodness, that is an extreme miss.
Almost hit it on the bounce.
But you got to be careful with Phillips. Sometimes he's just baiting you. And there's another one.
Yeah, but think about his first 2 at bats. He got jammed badly. So he was going up there thinking, this guy's not going to jam me again. He swings at one in the dirt.
Brandon Phillips, so interesting, his early career with the Indians. You know, nobody expected this kind of player while he was coming up through the Indian system. Thought he'd be a good player, not the star player that he is. Was a April trade in 06 as Phillips lines one into left right through the hole at first and short and third, and a 2-out base runner.
Telling Billy Hatch, see the way I set him up when swinging at that pitch in the dirt.
I make him think that he thinks that I'm thinking this.
He thought I was going to be an easy out tonight.
But I thought he thought that I was thinking this. Phillips has some gear that he wears at first base. And the bat boy, a little late to find it. He was telling him, don't worry about it. He's even got a smile for him.
Usually the first base coach has that stuff in his pockets.
But that's Billy Hatcher over there, and his pockets are full.
And Billy Hatcher said, but I didn't expect you to get on base this inning.
Not after that first pitch. He was a fun player. Billy Hatcher. Phillips takes off. Pena takes a pitch and safe at second. Stolen base for Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, he had a walking lead on Youngman that time, but LUCROY made it close. If he gets a throw on the first base side of second base, he's got an out. And you see him taking a couple of steps. You got to stop him when he does that. And Phillips barely able to beat it. A perfect throw gets him. A little bit on the third base side of the bag, just enough to allow him to get in there safely.
Stolen base number 18 for Phillips. And just like that, the Reds have a runner in scoring position. No balls and a strike on Pena. The double flapped helmet. Don't see those very often in the big leagues.
Switch hitters.
Switch hitters who really don't want to carry around 2 helmets. It just makes it easy. Just a 1-helmet league. Only other guy I can think of that does that wears the double flap, is Shin-Soo Choo of the Rangers.
Who used to be on the Reds.
And he's not a switch hitter. Maybe he just likes the tunnel vision it helps provide. When you're in the minor leagues, they don't have the single ear flap helmets. They're all double flaps. It's always one of the dead giveaways in spring training when a player comes up from the minor leagues. That's kind of what the helmet, the standard issue helmet, looks like in minor league baseball. 2 flaps. Three balls and a strike. Youngman keeping Phillips close. 1 flat. Pena on the ground. Lynn, he's got it from his knees, makes the throw. Youngman right there for him. And the inning is over. Saved a run. 5 scoreless for Taylor Youngman. 2-0 Brew Crew.
Between innings. Bernie's dugout. Hey, make plans to head out to the ballpark this weekend as the Brewers continue their series with the Reds tomorrow at 6 o'clock and closing out the series on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets. Now that's a slide that I would go down.
I'm afraid that slide would go down if you tried to go down that slide.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's a slide you wouldn't go down.
No, I tried once. Did the walk of shame, the climb of shame back down the stairs. Have you ever been up there?
No, I haven't. Haven't been invited.
You look there, you see where Bernie is. You look down, you don't see anything. You look down, and it's like, you know, there's
no flooring.
Yeah, you're kind of just hoping that there's something down there when you slide down. But anyway, I'm not a risk taker.
You've had that part of your life. Oh my gosh, that's the view from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about. Visual images to verify what you just said.
I get up there, I chickened out, and I went down the stairs. And it's a shameful climb back down. It really is.
What do you say when something like that happens? I mean, is there a go-to phrase? Do you fake an injury, or do you just man up? Segura strikes out. Another breaking ball. Iglesias has a nasty slider going now. 7 strikeouts.
You know, there's really not a whole lot you can say about that. Very disappointing. You embarrass yourself, and you just got to take it, you know.
I'd probably come up with something, you know, hay fever, or
you got your good suit on.
Hamstring. Have my wife call me. Yeah, I gotta go.
Be a lot quicker to slide down there, though, if you had to go.
Well, you might not have to go if you slid down. Youngman, a wave and a miss. Tell you what, that breaking ball he's throwing now is dialed in.
Unhittable when he puts it there.
It's in the same spot just about every time.
You hang it, you leave it at middle in, and it becomes hittable, but he hasn't done that.
He wants another one. That one missed a little bit away. I think he wanted it there, too. See if Youngman would chase.
Slider reminds me a lot of that Sergio Romo slider that he throws.
Good call. And he changes speeds on it,
but
too.
He's got a little bit more on it, does Iglesias.
Youngman can swing the bat. He's a good hitter. He has 8 hits already. He's hitting .320. Legitimate hitter at the plate, except with that slider. That is the 8th strikeout. Iglesias has retired 13 straight now. To the top of the order we go. Third time through the batting order. Scooter Gennett.
You can see why the Reds are excited about this young guy. 25 years old. He's got that live action on that arm. They drop a changeup on him.
Got it all going right now. 2 speeds on the breaking ball. The changeup, slinging that fastball in the low to mid 90s. Another changeup. Gennett rolls over it. Votto bobbles briefly, recovers. And Gennett is retired. 13, make it 14 in a row for Iglesias. 2-0 Brewers lead, however. We go to the 6th. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Bride to be hanging out at Miller Park. Congratulations. She looks like she's having a great time. Hope everything goes well. I assume tomorrow is the big day.
You think?
Guess it could be Sunday.
Need a day to recover, don't you?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Joey Votto leads off for Cincinnati. Yeah, good crowd on a Friday night. A lot of families here, including our friends the Eggerts from Eastbrook Academy. And always enjoy another night at Miller Park, especially on kind of a rainy, soupy night when you can close it up. Climate controlled inside Miller Park.
It's fall in the air, isn't there?
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like it?
We had that difficult evening on Wednesday evening in Cleveland with the rain falling for the first 4 or 5 innings of the game. Just a cold, soupy night. Would have been a lot like this one, except they don't have a roof like we do here in Milwaukee. It's a beautiful thing. 2-1 to Votto. Votto walked on 4 pitches his last time up. And he's got Youngman in the corner at 3-1. That's what he does.
Never, ever gives up in that bat.
And he lost him again. So Votto is on for the 3rd time. He's got a single and 2 walks. And it's a lead base runner this time. Bullpen activity. Cesar Jimenez, the new left-hander. He'll be making his Miller Park debut as well as a Brewer.
First time a Brewer starter has gotten into the 6th inning in a while. Good job by Youngman so far.
91 pitches. I'm sure Craig Counsell would love to see him get through 6. That's been a tall order here lately. But he's got a shutout going. 3-hit shutout despite the high pitch count.
Kind of shows you how good he was against the Dodgers in LA, right? Complete game, 9 innings, 100 pitches.
Dodgers came out aggressive and Youngman used it to his advantage. Frazier in the air, right center, slicing over to Braun. First out of the inning.
Hey, tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, Boots Saloon and Grill in Oak Creek, if they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game in April of May of 2016. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Carried it over to next season, are we? Times are running out. What do we got? 14 home games left, according to our home game tracker Tim Shea. Runner takes off, the throw bounces in and the ball pops free. That's a stolen base for Votto.
Yeah, stolen base number 8 for Joey Votto, who's been caught 2 times.
Now everybody is running wild on the Brewers right now. Brewers pitchers, starting pitchers especially,
look at it jump.
Just not holding runners on at all. And this is beginning to be a nightly occurrence. Indians had 5 stolen bases in a game the other night. Wednesday night. Lucroy didn't have a chance at any of them.
Yeah, the one Brandon Phillips stole last inning, a walking lead, and not too many of them have been the fault of Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate. You're right. Got to do a better job of holding runners. But that's the thing, when pitchers are struggling, not so much tonight with Taylor Youngman, but you know, during the road trip, Brewers starters were struggling to throw strikes. Last thing they were thinking about was holding on runners.
Yeah, it's much tougher when you're in survival mode. But holding runners can do so much for you. It obviously keeps the double play alive, and Youngman is a ground ball pitcher. So a smart stolen base for Votto. 2 balls and a strike on Suarez, and he takes off again. Youngman's got it dead to rights. That was great poise by Youngman. He saw it, didn't panic, stepped off and cuts him down at third base.
Yep, gave him the inside move and had the presence of mind to be able to step off, and not a very good play by Joey Votto. He steps off, he makes the throw to third, and Joey Votto still hasn't touched third base.
It's the only base you can fake to, second base, and just one throw to get the out. 2 outs now and a 2-1 count on the batter Suarez. In there, strike 2.
Man, what a difference maker it is, right? When you get an out on the bases. Yeah, that was just a case where Votto just took off too soon. If he waits just a split second longer, he's going to be able to steal it. Youngman won't have the time to be able to do that inside move. Got a great jump going to second. Try to get the same kind of jump going to third.
Payoff pitch coming. And a chopper to short. Segura bobbles it briefly, but able to recover, and he gets his man. So an out on the bases. Good poise there by Youngman. 6 shutout innings for him tonight.
And just a reminder, the Brewers homestand continues this Tuesday through Thursday as Andrew McCutchen and the Pittsburgh Pirates come to Miller Park for a 3-game set. To find a great deal on tickets for this series, go to Brewers.com today.
Pirates hooked up in a good one tonight at home against the Rockies. They are tied at 3 in the 8th inning. LUCROY will lead off. The Brewers are trying to solve the riddle here of Raisel Iglesias. LUCROY had an RBI double in the first inning, and then he was one of the 8 strikeouts that Iglesias has posted thus far. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Two nothing Brewers. 2 runs in the first. LUCROY drove one in with that double. Davis had the other RBI in the first inning, and nothing since. Not even a base runner since that time. And that slider has been the pitch. If I'm not mistaken, I just spotted your son. Billy is here.
Yep. Billy's here from Fort Lewis. He's on leave for a week.
United States Army. Got a fresh haircut and everything, it looks like.
Yep. Looks clean, doesn't he?
I always feel a lot safer when Billy's in the booth.
There he is.
And he's found his way to the breeze machine, like father, like son.
Oh, yeah. We sweat a lot, these Schroeders. Yep. Good to have him home.
Heck yeah, it is.
Got my daughter home from California, Lindsay, so a little bit of a family reunion this week. Been nice.
Yeah, if you don't know the story, Billy does great work in the military. They don't label prospects in the military, but he's one of them.
He's doing well.
He's a top prospect.
Yeah. Did 9 months in Afghanistan about 3 years ago. Came out without a blemish.
One of the many we should be honoring every night, and we do. They do a great job here at Miller Park too. We had a service member down on the field on top of the dugout actually earlier tonight. They do it every night, and every night it's a standing ovation the way it should be.
Yeah.
Your son-in-law was a part of that, I recall. Perry, earlier this year.
Yeah, Perry's an MP. He just got back from almost a year in Guantanamo Bay. So he got back this week on Saturday.
And we salute not just the servicemen and women, but the families as well. The wives and the husbands and mothers and fathers and siblings and the children.
Yep.
Everybody sacrifices. LUCROY, a swing and a miss. Well, this guy is nails right now. That's 9 strikeouts, 15 in a row retired.
And Brewers very fortunate to get those 2 runs in the first inning. Showed some wildness, did Iglesias, with 2 walks, a couple of base hits, and nothing since.
Disappears.
Yep. A little change up that time. He just does not mess around out there on the mound. Reminds you a little bit of Cueto, the way he goes about his business. I'm sure that Cueto had an big impact on him.
It's interesting. The Royals are talking about Cueto's impact on the mound, but also his impact on Yordano Ventura. So as he's gone over there, he's acted as a mentor, and the Royals are running away with the American League Central Division. Kansas City with a 13-game lead in that division, the best record in the American League. Cardinals have the best record in baseball. Braun, a swing and a miss. Reds made some moves, 3 moves as a matter of fact, 3 significant moves with Cueto to the Royals. Mike Leake went to the Giants. And then Marlon Byrd ended up with the Giants as well. A lot of folks feel like they were going to make more moves. I did, and I think they had a couple of more pieces. But they could certainly make those trades this offseason. Cincinnati got 3 players in the Cueto deal who will be a free agent at season's end.
There's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of changes in baseball. We saw one today with the Seattle Mariners. Jack Zduriencik, general manager, relieved of his duties.
A former scouting director for the Brewers, Jack Z, the man responsible for Ryan Braun, among others, all those great position player draft picks, Prince Fielder, Corey Hart, J.J. Hardy, and the list goes on. Braun on the ground to short, and there's out number 2. Yeah, that was big news in baseball today. Jack Zduriencik was let go by Seattle, expecting a contending team this year, a division title. Jeff Kingston right now will take over. So the Mariners at 10 games under 500 and a huge payroll. I think most people that I've talked to feel like that team is very similar to the Nationals right now, a team that is loaded with talent that you feel like is ready to contend.
Yeah.
Washington is in the race. They're playing much better than the Mariners, but right now Washington's on the outside looking in for a postseason berth. They're 6.5 behind the Mets. The Mets have won 7 straight games. So I think those are 2 teams that might have changes. Well, the Mariners already do have changes that a lot of people would be interested in, I'm guessing. Adam Lind into right center, a base hit right off the end of the bat. And that snaps the long string of outs for Raisel Iglesias. 16 in a row snapped with that base hit by Lind.
And Lind needed that. It's been a while for him. When one of those stretches where he wasn't getting a lot of base hits, the left-hander able to get the slider that stayed up. There's that slider that he gets on top of a little bit more and acts more like a curveball than a slider. And Lind able to dump it into right.
It's just the 3rd hit for the Brewers. 3 hits and a walk, and the first time in the stretch since the 1st inning for Iglesias. Davis half swing and cuts through it.
Tough on right-handed hitters, isn't he? The way that that breaking pitch breaks very sharp, very late. Doesn't need to be a big break. You just got to be quick and late. The later the better. Hitters can't pick it up. Yeah, coming into play, Iglesias, an opponent batting average against right-handers, 159. Left-handers much better, 308.
Has found his stride in August. Very up and down before this month. Coming off a game where he struck out 13 against Arizona. He buckled the knees of Davis. Strike 2. Davis is looking for one hanger. You got to figure it's coming. And he got a breaking ball, but rolls over it, and that'll be an easy out at second to end the inning. Got a good pitchers duel going here. Youngman against Iglesias, the two rookies, 2-0 Brewers. Every night here at Miller Park, but especially tonight as we recognize those in law enforcement keeping us safe. Thank you for your service. 2-0 Brewers lead the Reds. Domingo Santana moves over to left field. That is because Logan Schaefer has come on to play center. So Counsell with a 2-0 lead will tighten up his defense. And the new pitcher is Jeremy Jeffress. 6 shutout innings for Taylor Youngman. Brewers finally get a quality start tonight. Been a long time, over 2 weeks.
Yeah, they needed it too. As Jeremy Jeffress on for the 56th time this year. Earned run average under 3. Has not allowed a run in his last 8 appearances. That covers 6 2/3 innings. Been a while for him. Sunday against the Nationals, tossed a scoreless inning.
Jay Bruce will lead off for the Reds. Bruce, DeJesus, and LaMarre, 6, 7, and 8 in their batting order. Six shutout innings for Youngman. 3 hits allowed, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts.
He's done well against Cincinnati this year.
Yeah, had 8 innings with 1 run. His first time up against them. He's been impressive. When he has a bad start, he's bounced back. That's what you like to see, especially a pitcher in his first year. in the big leagues. He's trying to figure it all out. He's doing more than that. Bruce bounces to GENNETT, bobbled it briefly. But Bruce is out. And one away in the 7th. If you're just picking us up, the AT&T Uverse Rewind. First inning, right out of the gates after GENNETT walked. LUCROY doubles him home. 1-0 Brewers. And then after Braun walked, Chris Davis with an RBI single, plating LUCROY 2-0. And that's when Iglesias put the hammer down at that point. Would go on to retire 14 in a row. Youngman, meanwhile, 6 shutout innings and just 3 hits. So it has turned out to be a pitcher's duel, and the game didn't start that way. 4 of the first 5 hitters that Iglesias faced reached base with either a hit or a walk, and 2 runs were in. Nothing since.
He's got a chance to be a good one. He works quickly. He's got a lot of confidence. He and Pena worked pretty good tonight. Fellow countryman. That's got to be a help to him as well.
Sure.
A rookie kid from Cuba.
A Cuban battery. Into right field, a base hit for De Jesus.
Yeah, an 0-2 pitch. A little bit too much of the plate on an 0-2 count. You don't have to throw strikes.
Jeffress with a man on now. Tying run will come to the plate. And Ryan LaMarre will hit.
That's about the only thing that would get Iglesias out of the game tonight, right? Needing offense. Probably going to see a pinch hitter come out.
Now Brian Price, the Red Skipper's already sent Skip Schumacher on deck.
Good news for that Brewers offense.
Ryan LaMarre, he has struck out twice. And a swing and a miss at Jeffress' first offering at 95 miles an hour. Fastball misses low. Back to the heat. Jeffress. Jeremy has a very good sinking fastball, kind of a running power fastball, probably the best way to put it. And he does get ground balls when he's right.
Yeah, that down and in sinker, you know, for LaMarre has been a good pitch against him.
Swung over the top of that pitch against Youngman often.
And they're coming back in there.
I think the Brewers are very leery of a stolen base attempt here. The Brewers relievers are better at holding runners on than the starters have been. Might see him take off. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's fouled away. LaMarre was late. Another fastball.
Yep, De Jesus 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts so far this year. Book on LaMarre apparently is crowding with the fastball. He has a difficult time getting the bat head out. Brewers have consistently been able to put that fastball in on his hands.
LaMarre just got to the big leagues 8 days ago when Marlon Byrd was traded to the Giants. Opened the door for him. Broke his bat. Little roller. Got a chance here. Segura steps on the back. Throw to first in time. A double play. Segura was patient. Took it right on the bag. And a 6-3 double play to end the inning. 7 shutout for Brewer pitchers. Is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Still 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And a reminder that tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns. It's a doubleheader, Red Sox and the NL East leading Mets. And then that's followed by the AL East leading Yankees battling the Braves. Coverage begins at 2:30 Central right here on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Actually, the Yankees are a game and a half back to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Right.
I just read them. Should proof them.
You don't have time. You're doing a game.
Blue Jays have won 7 of their last 10, and they have the lead in the division. But both New York teams making a playoff push. Tell you, that American League wild card situation is nuts. Iglesias returns to the mound after the double play. Just when the Brewer hitters thought they were done with him, Reds were going to pinch hit a ground ball double play that ends the inning, and Iglesias returns, and now Santana right center field. That is back there. Santana hits another one out. Oh man, this guy has some serious pop to the opposite field. Already his 3rd homer. Domingo Santana, welcome to the Brew Crew.
That big, tall, right-handed hitter, he gets a lot of leverage in that big, tall frame. Pitch down, Iglesias didn't get it away as much as he'd like, and boy, look at that hack. That bat hits him in the back after that swing, and talking about a follow-through, and flies on out of here to right center.
With some heat on it as Herrera swings and misses. Domingo Santana from the Astros to the Brewers in the Gomez Fires trade, and the first of the 4 to make it to the big leagues, and he is impressing quickly. Chopper over to third base. Frazier cuts it off for out number 1.
Well, you have to hit home runs if you're in the Astros chain, don't you?
That's right.
As many home runs as those guys have hit this year,
they lead their league, and he was another one of those big power hitters. Brewers are glad to have him.
Astros have hit 174 home runs.
So you watch him play, you watch him move. He looks a little bit like Matt Kemp. He's not quite as thick as Kemp. He might be, though, at some point. He's only 23 years of age.
Right.
He's 6'5", 225.
You're right. I like Matt Kemp. Vlad Guerrero is another guy you think about when you look at him.
Now, when he first got here, Craig Counsell felt like he was more of a Corey Hart comp because of the speed and the height. Got a strong throwing arm. He's a corner outfielder by trade. He's been playing center field for the Brewers just to try to get some at bats.
But if he gets hitting like that, they're going to find some place for him.
He doesn't mind center field at all. 3-0 Brewers on the Santana homer. You look at Santana's season, his overall season, his minor league numbers this year: 18 home runs, 77 runs batted in, 21 home runs overall. Make it actually 23 home runs overall. He had 2 homers with the Astros. There's a called strike 3. Segura is rung up.
Yeah, you figure he's going to get better plate discipline as he gets through the league and maybe steal some bases. There's long strides. Got a terrific throwing arm. We've seen that already.
Well, he's got a little over a month remaining of baseball to accumulate those big stats. 23 home runs total from all of his locations this season. Has 89 runs batted in now. First at bat for Logan Schaefer. He's up there with 2 outs, 0-2 count. Brewers lead 3-0. Schaefer, right center. Coming in is Bruce, and that will retire the side. Domingo Santana playing that sweet music. First game at Miller Park. He's got his first Brewer home run at home. His 3rd overall as a Brewer. 3-0 Milwaukee. extend the lead on a Wednesday night in Milwaukee. And the Milwaukee River City all lit up tonight, late August. Carsoup.com trivia: who was the last Reds and Brewers player to lead the National League in home runs for a season? We gave you plenty of time to think about it. Prince Fielder and Adam Dunn. That's an easy guess.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy question tonight.
Fielder had 50 in 07. So Jeffress went out to warm up and did so once they announced the pinch hitter. Counsell makes the change. He just wanted to make sure the left-hander was coming in, Schumacher, and so now he'll counter with a left-hander, Will Smith. And we'll take a timeout. Pitching change at Miller Park. Just getting started here in the 8th after a pitching change. Jeffress went out to warm up. They announced the pinch hitter, and now it's going to be Will Smith as Counsell will play matchup against Skip Schumacher.
Yeah, the 70 punch-outs in 48 2/3 innings this year. Appearance number 61 for Will, a 6-2 record. Yeah, gave up a run in an inning of work his last time out on Wednesday at Cleveland. Gave up a solo home run to Jason Kipnis.
Has not had great success against lefties this season. But Counsell still likes the lefty-lefty matchup. Schumacher pinch hitting, which is a very familiar role for him. This is his 63rd pinch hit at bat of the season. No one is even close.
Yeah.
Tyler Moore is second from the Nationals in pinch hit at bats. He's got 41. Schumacher a full 22 ahead of him.
Doesn't get many starts. Can play him in the infield and the outfield, but a guy that, veteran guy that normally can give you a decent at bat off the bench.
The most oft-used pinch hitter for the Brewers is Jason Rogers with 38. That's 4th best in the National League. And he spent about a month in the minor leagues this year. 63 pinch hit at bats.
Wow.
Schumacher hitting .274 as a pinch hitter. Down he goes. Smith with a strikeout.
And a growl by Tom Hallion. Yeah, slipped the fastball by him on the outside corner. Good pitch by Smith.
Man versus beast.
Keep it up, Tom. You like the enthusiasm.
It's fantastic,
Yep,
is what it is.
Yep.
He looks pretty calm right there too. He's
got to save his energy.
It's a quick burst of emotion.
He gets all excited with 2 strikes.
Phillips, he took a rip at that hanging breaking ball. He saw it all the way, but he missed it. Phillips had a hit his last time up off Youngman. Taylor only gave up 3 hits today, 6 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts, and there's Phillips again, base hit to right. 2 for 4, Brandon Phillips.
Well, both of his base hits were on fastballs right after swinging at a curveball. Did it against Taylor Youngman, now against Will Smith.
Brian Pena now, the switch hitting catcher, turns around. That shot of Phillips talking to Adam Lind, that's Adam Lind's probably the quietest first baseman in the history of baseball. But even Brandon Phillips can strike up a conversation with Adam Lind. In the dirt, and a swing. Pena could not check it. 1-1 the count.
Brandon Phillips could get a reaction out of a mannequin.
He's like talking to a tree, but he's got Lind fully engaged right now.
I'd like to see Brandon Phillips at first base with Sean Casey playing first.
No chance. There'd be no chance.
Yeah.
Be like a snappy millennial sitcom with the new age dialogue, and everybody's talking.
Constant.
I mean, Phillips he's in 5th gear right now, and Lind, he's having a great time. That's the most Adam Lind has talked in one setting this entire year. Mostly grunts from Adam Lind. Speak softly, carry a big stick.
He can hit. I'll tell you, he can hit.
Yes, he can.
There's no question about that. All the other stuff is extra.
Two balls, 2 strikes on, make it 3-2 on Pena.
Yeah, Smith had him ahead in the count 1-2 and trying to get him to chase, not doing it.
1 man out. A runner on. Santana homered for the Brewers last inning to stretch the lead to 3-0. Smith checks on Phillips. Remember that St. Louis Cincinnati brawl? It was started by Phillips and Molina. Pena takes ball 4. Now the tying run's coming up.
Yeah, look who's coming up.
Joey Votto will bat.
They got ahead of Brian Pena 1-2 and just lost him.
So Smith will have to face Votto, who's been on 3 times. Now that brawl that was in Cincinnati a few years ago, Phillips was just doing his normal thing. He's talking to everybody, and he tapped Yadier Molina on the shin guards his first at bat. Molina, he didn't like that. And they immediately went after it, and then the bench is cleared, and it turned into a ugly scene.
That was the day after Phillips made a few comments about what people thought about the Cardinals.
That's true.
A little bit more to the story than just the bat tap on the shin guards.
And the exact opposite personality of Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto. He's more in the Adam Lind line. He's a dangerous bat right now. He's hitting .318 against left-handed pitching this year.
This is where he gets a little bit more aggressive. Counts like this, situations like this.
Ground ball to second, chance to turn it. 4-6-3 and a double play. That was big for Will Smith. Joey Votto bounces into an inning-ending double play. And the Brewers not only maintain the lead, they maintain the shutout. 3-0 Crew as we go to the home eighth.
Bottom of the eighth we go. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame. One of the topics we've been waiting for the double play, Augie. Last two innings, pitcher's best friend. Oh, pitcher's best friend.
No doubt about it. You know, and you got to look at when you think about it, you get the relievers coming in the ball game, both Jeffers and Smith doing a nice job. But getting the ground ball when you need it. Yeah, guys get on base. And being able to get that double play, that good ground ball, is plays big in the ball game. It's playing big tonight.
That one was in the seventh inning, and this one here, the 4-6-3 ends the eighth inning. Brewers holding on for their 3-0 lead right now. Youngman trying to get the win here, and we'll see what the Brewers do in the bottom of the eighth inning. You know, K-Rod is itching to get in for another save. We'll see how it all comes out in the end, and we'll have Brewers Live postgame coming up. Brian?
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. New pitcher for the Reds as Scooter Gennett tries to bunt his way on. And a foul ball. Colin Ballister is on the mound. Just promoted to the big leagues last week. Manny Parra, the former Brewer, he went on the disabled list for the Reds. And Ballister pitched in his first major league game since mid-May against the Diamondbacks. Hasn't had a whole lot of big league time this year, but he gets the ball with his Reds down 3 in the 8th inning.
Yeah, it came up when Manny Parra was put on the disabled list back on August 23rd. Got in the game the next day against Detroit. 2 scoreless innings in that appearance.
And Gennett tomahawks one to short. Suarez long throw is in time. One away for Colin Ballister. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo. Make sure you use the hashtag #WisDataStrongFan. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. That looks like Mike at AT&T Park, the home of the Giants. A little road crew for Mike. Thanks for playing along with us. Strike one to Lucroy. Speaking of the Giants, they host the Cardinals tonight.
Yeah.
Mike Leake is on the mound for the Giants, the former Cincinnati Red, back from the disabled list. Lucroy with a base hit. He smothered one into the ground. Right through the vacated hole there between first and second. And he's 2 for 4. Had an RBI double in the first, and now a multi-hit game for him with Braun coming up.
Yeah, when he starts doing that, you know he's starting to dial back in. Fastball down the middle, but at the knees, and LUCROY able to hit it into right field.
Well, Ryan Braun's on the Powerball home run leaderboard, leading the way with 23, top 10 in the National League. And then you got Davis and Lind with 17 apiece. Davis has 10 of those 17 in the month of August.
You read lips right after that pitch was caught. Ryan Braun saying to himself, stay back. Don't jump at the baseball. Let the ball get to you. One of the few times it's okay to talk to yourself when you're in the batter's box.
What you say when you talk to yourself.
Right.
Just say positive things.
And he stayed back better. Sometimes it's important to say it out loud.
Just say I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. Doggone it, people like me.
This might be a 3-0 swing for Ryan Braun.
He doesn't do it very often, but when he does it, it has worked out well for him. 3-0 lead, 8th inning.
Nope.
Takes one right in the wheelhouse.
You get that pitch maybe about 3-4 inches further on the outer half of the plate, he might take a hack at it. Not a big fan of that fastball in.
Reds got this pitcher Ballister from the Pirates. Came to Cincinnati in June, went to AAA. So with the Pirates he was in AA and AAA, and then went straight to AAA with the Reds. Has a combined minor league ERA of 2.21. He's been a closer at the minor league levels. 11 out of 14 saves. And he gets the ball here in the 8th inning with the Reds down 3. Braun trying to add to it. 1 man out. And that one's up high. Ball 4. Braun draws the walk. 2 on now with 1 out. Second walk for Braun, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
You might see another reliever jump up on the mound out there in the bullpen if the Brewers able to score another run or 2. And maybe save KHRIS for a save opportunity, although
gets the Reds bullpen active as well. Sam LeCure.
Francisco Rodriguez did not pitch on the last road trip, so it might be his inning regardless.
Needs the work. 5 games and a couple of off days. A strike to Lind.
And KHRIS hasn't pitched since August 29th. Oh no, check that, 19th. August 19th.
Starting to prowl down there. 0-2. 94 with a fastball. Two on, 1 out, no balls, 2 strikes on Lind, and it's down and away. Just to see how far he'd go. Raisel Iglesias, the Red starter, went 7 innings, 3 runs, 10 strikeouts tonight. Ballister works the 8th. The Brewers lead 3-0. Youngman in line for the win for Milwaukee. 6 shutout innings tonight. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts on only 3 hits for Youngman. Drops his ERA to 2.48. Lynn breaks his bat. Foul ball. Let's go for it. The right-hander in the near shot, and then KHRIS, of course, getting loose. Maybe we won't see KHRIS if it is out of a save situation.
Yeah, Brewers score another run. It's not a save, obviously. You might see Goforth.
Well, the Reds will have Frazier, Suarez, and Bruce due up in the ninth. Huge double play VOTTO bounced into to end the inning. Lind into left center field. That's hit deep. And that one is going to go to the wall. LUCROY's in. Braun right behind him. The throw is late. Braun scores. 2 RBI double for Adam Lind, and it's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, new piece of wood, and it worked nicely. Gapper out there in the left center. A couple of RBIs. Back-to-back hits for Lind. And once again, able to center on a high fastball and drive in a couple. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Adam Lind with a couple of RBIs, giving the Brewers a 5-0 lead.
Two strike, 2 RBI double for Adam Lind. 2 for 4 tonight. 5-0. Brewers have out hit the Reds 6-5. And that will do it for Ballister. So the Brewers tack a few on, and back to the bullpen goes Brian Price. Sam LeCure coming in. We'll set him up when we continue from Miller Park. We got a pitching change here in the 8th inning. Adam Lind, Brandon Phillips. Big hit by Adam Lind. 2 RBI double gives the Brewers a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the new pitcher is Sam LeCure.
Yeah, his number is only 4th appearance this year. He's thrown 5 innings, has not allowed a run. He's got a man at second with 1 out. Called up on August 19th.
Spent most of the year in AAA. Shane Peterson pinch hitting. And he's done that very well this year. 7 for 21 as a pinch hitter. There was one stretch in July he had 6 consecutive hits as a pinch hitter. And the Brewers can add on. 1 out, runner at second. 5-0 Milwaukee. Trying to break a 4-game losing streak.
And LeCure got sent down to the minor leagues the last day of spring training. And he was there all season long until his call up on the 19th.
Got to be tough for a pitcher like LeCure, who's been in the big leagues. He's pitched in the playoffs for the Reds, to have to go back to the minor leagues. 0-2 to Peterson. And some finals coming in. The Pirates scored late, a couple of runs in the 8th. They beat the Rockies tonight. Pittsburgh just keeps rolling. They're 29 games over 500. And yet the Cardinals keep rolling as well. Cardinals are in San Francisco tonight. That game is scoreless. 3rd inning.
Who do you think's more frustrated?
Yeah, it's a good question.
You know, I mean, the Cardinals' best record in baseball. It's still anybody's race. The Pirates right behind them. The Cubs not far behind.
Cardinals have won 5 in a row, and yet they're just 4.5 ahead of Pittsburgh. There's a wave and a miss. Peterson strikes out. Second out in the inning. Central Division looks like this currently. St. Louis 4 games up after that Pirates win. Cubs are in Los Angeles facing Clayton Kershaw tonight. No score, 3rd inning. Dodgers beat the Reds yesterday. They swept them, and it was Greinke, the winning pitcher, a 1-0 shutout. Domingo Santana homered his last time up. First Miller Park home run. And his 3rd already for the Brewers. First game as a Brewer was 1 week ago, last Friday in Washington, D.C. He's got great opposite field power, and he has showed it off in his last 2 home runs. The one in Cleveland and his right center field home run here tonight.
Hey, he's going to like Miller Park. Built perfectly for him.
Got a text from a friend after Mike Fiers threw a no-hitter for the Astros. He's a diehard Astros fan. He goes, "Hey, thanks for sending us Mike Fiers." That was the night Santana hit his first home run, remember? Friday night when Fiers threw the no-hitter. I said, "Hey, thanks for sending us Domingo Santana." He said, "Who?" That's what it's all about this time of year. You've got to have the scouting to scour the minor leagues, and these names, these players that at the major league level, from a public side of things, few people have heard of. But the Brewers cannot afford to miss on that trade, the Gomez-Fiers trade. And they don't feel like they are going to miss. They love the players they got in return. Santana the first to make it. And he draws a walk. So good at bat.
Yeah, good patience. Yeah, the more at bats you get, the more success you have, and you're going to be a little bit more patient at the plate. He's able to draw a walk. Towering over Mike Guerrero. Of course, he towers over most guys.
Two outs, 2 on now. And here is Herrera. Brewers have put 2 on the board here in the 8th inning to make it 5-0. Blue Jays stayed hot tonight. 5-3 win over the Tigers. MVP candidate Josh Donaldson homered in that game, as did Troy Tulowitzki. Bautista hit his 31st. Toronto maintains their lead in the American League East. The Marlins beat the Nationals tonight 4-3. Max Scherzer took the loss. The Mets extra innings against the Red Sox. Boston just scored 3 runs and leads 6-3. So even with a loss, the Mets will maintain their 6.5 game lead. Starting to rumble in Washington, D.C. is there's time to make a comeback, but 6.5 games, that's a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah. Especially when next week is going to be September 1st. Running out of time.
Here's a 2-1. Herrera pops it foul and out of play. Well, even though the Blue Jays won, the Yankees are winning big against Atlanta. It's the return of Brian McCann to Atlanta tonight. That game's now 14-3 Yankees in the ninth. So it's looking like the Blue Jays will keep a 1.5 game lead. Royals are running away with the Central. Astros lead the Rangers by 5. In the American League West, Cole Hamels got a win tonight for the Rangers. Beat the Orioles 4-1. Houston trailing Minnesota 3-0. Ninth inning. Twins have gotten it together recently. Looking to win 7 of their last 10. In the picture in the wild card race.
Half game back.
In a long inning, the Brewers scoring twice. 2 hits, a walk. Two relievers used by Price. 2-2 count on Herrera. And he popped him up. Center field. LAMARRE is under it, and that will retire the side. Adam Lind, his second hit of the night, produces 2 runs. Came on a 2-strike pitch with a brand new bat. 2 RBI double for Lind makes it 5-0 Milwaukee. We go to the ninth. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Roofs closed, lights are up. Oh, appreciate that.
They know how to get on TV, don't they?
Kiss up to the announcers and you're always going to make it on television. Got the full set of Bill Schroeder baseball cards right there. Nicely done.
Yep, the whole progression of the mullet.
Here's Frankie Rodriguez.
Yeah, last pitch, as we talked about, August 19th, right here against the Marlins. Picked up save number 30. has converted his last 35 dating back to last year.
Has not pitched well in non-save situations this season. Interestingly enough, not uncommon for closers. Most of his ERA comes from those non-save situations. Deals a strike to Todd Frazier. You love these matchups, though. No matter the standings, no matter the time of the game. A couple of all-star teammates this year in Cincinnati, Frazier and KHRIS. Strike two.
Looking changeup. You can see the look on his face. And took a fastball away. It's an awfully long time to keep your closer in the bullpen. 9 days.
1-2 the count. LUCROY setting up inside. And a fastball in the air, right field. Braun is there for the first out. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. We're back at it tomorrow. KHRIS Sampson against Matt Garza tomorrow. Miller Lite What's on Tap. Airtime 5:30. Fox Sports Wisconsin. Remember tomorrow's game, Saturday. First pitch just after 6 o'clock local time.
Garza looking for a bounce back too.
Another rookie, KHRIS Sampson, will be his mound opponent. There's a strike to SUAREZ. There's the changeup.
Such a good pitch to young hitters.
And a young hitter says, oh, that's what that looks like.
That's the changeup you guys have been talking about. Yep. They don't have many of those in the minor leagues.
In the right field, hit pretty well, but Braun is in his tracks almost for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Frankie Rodriguez. Great feature in our Brewers Live pregame show today. Sophia Minard and our crew put together a nice little feature on Francisco Rodriguez. And always best when others say nice things about you. And that's what Sophia was able to do. All of his bullpen mates talking about the impact of K-Rod, not just on the mound as a closer, but his impact as a mentor, as a bullpen leader. Those who have been around him, guys you trust, like Lee Tunnell, former big league pitcher, the bullpen coach, Marcus Hannell, longtime bullpen catcher. They say he's the best they've ever been around.
And it's great when the players say that about you. And I think it means even more when the coaches in the front office say the same thing. And Marcus and Lee, they've seen a lot of different pitchers run through baseball.
A strike, 2-1 on Jay Bruce.
All that time in the bullpen, he still throws a changeup like that, right?
Yeah, his command is terrific. He's thrown 11 pitches, 8 of them for strikes. Now a strike away from finishing this one off. 2-2 to Jay Bruce. And a called strike 3. Ball game over. Brewers win. Francisco Rodriguez gets the last 3 outs. Tom Hallion entertained us all night long. Well called, sir. 5-0. The Brewers shut out the Reds. They've won 5 in a row against Cincinnati now. Makes a winner out of Taylor Youngman. He's 8-5. And Raisel Iglesias, the loss at 3-6. Got a home run from Domingo Santana tonight. Good night for the Brew Crew. They snapped the 4-game losing streak. Now it's time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Kashawn, who's standing by down the right field line. Craig?
Okay, BA, thanks. Great way to start the homestand for Milwaukee. Really needed this win. Got a quality start from Taylor Youngman. Hope to catch up with him. We will from Craig Counsell. Plenty more to come on Brewers Live next.